Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, how are you? I think and I wish all of you stay healthy. And alhamdulillah, we can join again with this class, English Literary for 10th grade senior high school students. With me, Mrs. Nurul Latifah Irmawati. Okay, before we open the material, I would like to give you some of purposes of the study. First, students will be able to define a statement and question. Second, students will be able to identify a given sentence as a statement or questions. For the third, students will be able to change the question into a statement. Fourth, students will be able to change the statement into a question. Fifth, reorder words to form an order. Now, before we get the expression, statement, and question in detail, I would like to give a few explanation about sentence. Statement and question are part of sentence. Sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense by itself. It does not depend on another word or group of words to do so. A statement is a sentence that tells us something or gives us about something. And then a question is a sentence that asks us something. So if you want to know about something, you can ask a sentence form as a question, not as a statement. For the first point, analyzing statement and question of requirement to do something in present. First, expressions of the statement and question of requirement to do something in present. Okay, sometimes we need to say something that we have to do in the present. We can use a certain model which is added by present tense. You need to pay attention about the form of present tense on the following examples. Learn these following examples carefully. A, should. It means expectation. Example, Susan should be in New York by now. Another example, Sissy should be in Korea by now. Okay, it is the other example. For the second example, have to or must. It is obligation. Example, I have to send this letter now. C, asking if you are obligated to do something. Example, am I required to blah blah blah? Is it necessary to blah blah blah? After you are reading the explanation above, try to create 3 sentences that show the expression of requirement to do something in present. Okay, you can write your examples on your notebook or taskbook. You can do it at home. After you know the explanation for the 3 explanation before. Okay, do it. The next. Okay. How do you think about the activity? Did you find any difficulties after you make the sentences you make some examples. Okay, you can ask me if you get more difficulties. You can call me by using Google Classroom. Okay, do you understand? Okay, I will continue. You can also take a look at the following examples to get deeper understanding about the statement and question of requirement to do something in present. Pay attention on the italic words. Okay, please give attention for the first dialogue. Do you know what? Do you know that Tommy has a stomachache? Oh, poor him. He shouldn't eat too many junk food, and he should stop it by now. For the second example, for the second picture, can you drive your car faster, please? I'm in hurry to my office. Yes, sir, but there is a traffic jam. Okay, the two of the picture, it is show that statement and requirement, statement and questions to do something in present. For example, for the first, the lady said that he should stop it by now. Now, that is show that it's in present. For the second picture, I'm in hurry to my office. And the mister is very want the driver to drive car fastly. Point 2, for the point A, forming the expressions of the statement and question of requirement to do something in present. Okay, do you know how to form the expression of the statement and questions of requirements to do something in present? Okay, I have give you the examples before. Now we are going to discuss the formula. It could be performed by modal should plus present tense to talk about the actions that happen in present. The expressions use modal verbs should. Modal verbs behave differently from other verbs. Notice that they do not take s in the third person. There is no difference between first person, second person, or third person forms. Like the verb be described above, modal verbs also have different question forms and negative forms in simple present. Okay, please give attention for the column. First column is positive, second column is negative, and the third column is questions. So please give attention for the first column, positive. I should go. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I forget. Please reply me after I read the sentence for each part in the columns. Okay? Reply me after I read for each sentence in the each columns. You can do it at home. You can reply after me. Okay, students? You can catch my point? Okay? Please prepare your headset or your headphone. You can maybe give attention more. Okay, for the first, positive. I should go. You should go. We should go. They should go. He should go. She should go. It should go. For the negative form, I should not go. You should not go. We should not go. They should not go. He should not go. She should not go. it should not go. For the questions column, should I go? Should you go? Should we go? Should they go? Should he go? Should she go? Should it go? Okay, students? Can you reply after me? I hope so. Please practice at home. For the third point, the use of expressions of the statement and question of requirement to do something in present. The use of modal should plus present tense, commonly to express obligation or moral obligation. It is also sometimes more or less synonymous with ought to. Okay, please give attention for the some examples. Look at the following examples. Please, okay. Do you still prepare your headphones or headset? You can join with me and please give me attention. Number 1, you should stop eating junk food. It means you ought to stop eating junk food. It's raining hard. The children ought to come indoors. Number 3, I didn't know you were married. You ought to have told me. Number 4, if you'd wanted to succeed, you should have worked hard at school. Okay, I will reply. I get mistaken. Number 4, if you'd wanted to succeed, you should have worked harder at school. Number 5, these pullovers got holes in it. I should get a new one. Number 6, these pullovers got holes in it. I ought to get a new one. Number 7, that's awful. You really ought not to have done that, you know? Okay. How about you, students? Okay. Should and shouldn't are used to make an assumption about what is probably true. If everything is as we expect. For example, they should be there by now. It shouldn't take long to drive here. This use of should isn't usually used for negative events. Instead, it's a better idea to use will. The underground will be very busy now, not should be. Okay? It means that if you use the should, it is not always for negative events. You can change the models with will be, not should be. Okay, we will begin the point B, analyzing statement and question of requirement to do something in the future. In the previous discussion, we learned about how to express the statement and question of requirement to do something in present. In this material, we are going to learn about how to express the statement and question of requirement to do something in future. Okay, you can give attention for the picture, and above the picture, you can see some examples. Now we learn how to express the statement and question of requirement to do something in future. It only has slight difference from the previous discussion. We just need to notice the future form of the sentences. A. Should recommendation. at feasibility, obligation. Example, you really should start eating better. B. Should, expectation. Example, Susan should arrive in New York until next week. C. Should, giving advice. Example, what should I wear? What should I wear? D. Have to, must, obligation. Example, I will have to work tomorrow. Shall, advice. Shall we go to restaurant to eat before the film? Would, invitation. Example, would you take your sisters back before school? Okay, after you reading the explanation above, try to create 3 sentences that show the expressions of requirement to do something in future. Okay, for the discussion before, you must write 3 example based on your example. Now you would like to you must write down 3 sentences again for based on the explanation above. Now you can see the picture. Please look at the picture and give attention. They talk about something. They talk about movie. You should watch the newest James Bond movie. It's great. Really? It sounds very good. I'll arrange my schedule to watch it later. For the second picture, will you accompany me to London this evening? I have a job duty there. I'm so sorry. I must go to my office tomorrow. Okay. Now you had look at the pictures. 2 of pictures show that there are one some advice, or they will respond their invitation, but they can do join with the people. Now we show the point C, analyzing statement and question of requirement to do something. In past, expressions of the statement and question of requirement to do something. In past. Please give attention for the grandfather. They talk about Sarah. I got information that Sarah is hospitalized because she has stomachache. Sarah shouldn't have eaten spicy food too much. That's what caused her health problems. Okay. In the previous discussion, we have learned how to express the requirement to do something in future and present. Now we learn how to express the requirement to do something in past. It has different purpose from the previous discussion. When using this pattern, you are talking about something in the past that you ought to or might have done. Here are some examples. I should have studied more for my test. I should have read the directions before starting. I had to study hard yesterday because I have an exam this week. Now, after reading the explanation above, try to create 3 sentences that show the expression of requirement to do something in past. It is the third task. You must give me 3 sentences. and make the examples based on expressions of the statement and questions to do something in past. I'm sorry, I left my word past for the explanation, and please complete your writing on your notebook yourself. Please give attention the picture. The first picture, how is Angeli? Is she passed the test? Angie should have studied harder. Unfortunately, she failed the math test. Second picture, how is Susan? Is she in New York now? Susan should have arrived in New York last week. Let's call her and see what she is up to. Okay, the two pictures give examples about expressions of the statement and questions of requirement to do something in past. Now, this number 2 of the point C, we are going to discuss the formula. It could be performed by modal, should have, and past participle to talk about the past events, actions that did not happen, but it would be better if they had happened. A mistake or regret is implied. This is the formula. Should have plus verb 3. Look at the following examples carefully. You should ought to have checked your report thoroughly before you handed it in. You should ought to have asked my permission before you used my computer. I'm really angry with you. Note, we use third forms, verb 3 of the verb after the modal should, ought to have, ought to being a little stronger. They should ought to have listened to me and bought that house last year before the prices increased. You shouldn't have been watching TV all night yesterday. That's why you feel so tired now. In the third part, the use of expressions of the statement and question of requirement to do something in past. We can use expression of the statement and question of requirement to do something in past using should have plus past participle to express the following. A. We can use should have to talk about past events that did not happen. I should have let her know what was happening, but I forgot. He shouldn't have sent everybody a reminder by email. They should have remembered that their guests don't eat noodle. B. We can also use should have to speculate about events that may or may not have happened. She should have got the letter this morning. I expect she'll give us a call about it later. He should have arrived at his office by now. Let's try ringing him. They should have all read that first email by this stage. It's time to send the next one. We can use should not have to speculate negatively about what may or may not have happened. She shouldn't have left work yet. I'll call her office. He shouldn't have boarded his plane yet. We can probably still get hold of him. They shouldn't have sent the report off for printing yet. There is still time to make change. D. We can also use should not have to regret past actions. I shouldn't have shouted at you. I apologize. We shouldn't have left the office so late. We should have anticipated this bad traffic. They shouldn't have sacked him. He was most creative person on their team. Now, I hope all of you can understand what I explained to you and what we discussed about this material. If you get difficulties, you can ask me using the column in Google Classroom, or you can listen carefully for the online dictionary, or you may use your book dictionary at home. You can open your book or your dictionary. You can find many vocabularies there. You can read each words that you difficult to understand. This is the last slide I would show to you. This is summary. You can know this what is the form, how you can make a sentence by using this form, and what is and how many examples you can understand in this part. You can also, okay, before you open this summary, you can prepare your dictionary first. You can understand if you open the words by using dictionary. Don't give up. If you still confused, if you faced many difficulties, you can fight. You get the spirit. Okay, thanks for your attention. See you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.